Welcome to Coding with Jess, where you get to code along with me while I build a thing. So if this is your first time on Coding with Jess, welcome. This is what we're going to do is for the next 2 hours, I'm going to talk out loud as if I were pair programming with you, dear listener, while I work on something. And so we're going to, like I said, it's going to be 2 hours. What I do is I work in pomodoros. So we'll do like a 25-minute work block, a 5-minute break, 25-minute work block, 5-minute break. 4 combined pomodoros to equal like a 2-hour work session. So welcome. The other thing to know, if this is your first time hanging out, is that I do watch the YouTube chat, and so if you would like to engage with me through the platform of YouTube, I'll glance at that from time to time and respond to people. And so yeah, I love people to give people an opportunity to engage. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to work on today. So let me swap over here and close some of this stuff down. All right, let's see. Okay, so today we're going to be continuing to work on a project called the WebNative template application. And what is that, you might ask? Well, if this is your first time tuning in, I'll give you like a hyper speed overview of WebNative and the WebNative template app. So WebNative is a library that wraps a set of decentralized services, authentication, file storage, and soon to come a database, spoiler alert, as well as some other like neat features to allow you to build decentralized applications using these sort of primitives, but it wraps them all together in this one nice little package for you. So you can find the WebNative packet or the WebNative SDK here. This allows you to build like front-end applications in the browser that have decentralized functionality. And people have been, this library's been around for a couple of years now, and is fairly mature. Different people have shipped some of these WebNative apps and have built a lot of stuff with them. But what we're finding is that it would be helpful if there was sort of an example of a a default way of building one of these applications. And so there, enter the WebNative template or app template. So the WebNative app template is an opinionated application that you can download, or that you can clone the repository that already has what am I trying to say? A web framework wrapped around it. So it's built on top of Svelte, which is a nice little React-like framework that's a little bit lighter weight. It's using TypeScript. It has Tailwind UI and Daisy UI, so it already has like a style to it. And it handles a lot of, this application already handles things like the authentication flow, device linking, like key management, and different things like that that you have to manage when you're doing key-based decentralized applications. So bundling this all together into the WebNative app template, we're hoping that this allows people to use the WebNative library more easily and stand up a decentralized application for a hackathon, for example. So this would be like your hackathon starter kit. Cool. So that's what WebNative is. That's what the WebNative app template is. So let's talk about what we're specifically going to work on today. But before we do that, let's go ahead and fire off our first Pomodoro. So as I mentioned, we're going to be working for 2 hours, 4 Pomodoros. I'm going to go ahead and hit start on our first one, put 25 minutes on the clock, and then we'll take a 5-minute break at the end of that. And if you're wondering what flashy little Pomodoro app this is Tomato 2 by my friend Boydo Rennick. You can find it at tomato2.app. It's a great little simple Pomodoro application. Alrighty, so what are we working on today? Well, I actually have we can do 2 things here. I'm going to show you first off like where we're at with the application. You can find that at WebNative app template.vision.app. So this is the app as it stands right now. You can click connect. You can click create a new account and type in a username. This is all connecting right now to Vision's staging servers and setup. So some usernames are already taken. Like I think I might have already registered Jess Martin. No, Jess Martin's is available. So we can go ahead and register that. You can we also have some nice little error messages like this username is invalid, things like that. We also have something like this for like security reasons. Awesome WebNative app doesn't support shared computers at this time. So you can keep people from accidentally creating keys in a browser that they don't own, which would be a bad deal. We can talk about key-based auth later. If you're curious about that, ask questions in the chat. I'll explain it further. But yeah, so you can come through and register. When I click register, it right now simply returns you to the application interface, and then forwards you on to the very first, to the device linking stage. So that is where we will pick up, is basically the screen right after register. So let me walk you through. I actually have I think this is it. Here we go. I have the Figma mockup pulled up. So let me back this up. So right after register, if you click register on this screen, you get to basically a welcome screen. So we're going to start here by implementing this welcome screen. Your account has been created, and then our goal today is going to be to knock out some of these specific screens that we have in front of us. So this one we should be able to get up pretty quickly. Once you click continue, it'll take you to a screen that reminds you need to back up your account. And just a tiny note on this, right? The WebNative app uses key-based authentication, which means that a cryptographic key is stored in your browser when you authenticate with an application, and that cryptographic key is what you use to sign in, if you will, or do things within that application. That's a really great model because it's passwordless, and there's a lot of other like really nice things around key-based authentication I won't go into, but one of the ramifications for that is your key is only stored in that one browser. Not that one computer, that one browser. And so if you were to say clear all the cookies in your browser or something like that, you would actually, you would be dropping your key into Mount Doom, and it would go away, and you would never have access to that account ever again because of cryptographic insanity. So anyway, don't do that. But the way that we keep people from doing that is we encourage them to go through like what's basically like a two-factor auth flow. So basically say when you sign up for this account, you need to immediately connect a second device, and that's what this is like encouraging you to do. And we'll take you through this flow. It'll feel very much like two-factor auth that you've seen in other applications. And then at least your key is now on two devices. Well, technically it's in two browsers, not devices. We're using the term device instead of browser to avoid confusing the person, but most likely they'll pick up another device like this one, and we'll walk them through that. So the next screen we're going to work on today is this one, which I've never generated QR codes for a link before, so I'm excited to learn how to do that and to like style it up to make it look all good right here in this little connected backup device thing. So we'll create a QR code here, and yeah, then you can see how you would actually like hold up a phone and scan that QR code to open this link on a second device. So, and then the last thing, if we're super productive in the next 2 hours, which is possible, we might get to the skip screen of like you have skipped backup and you have not connected another device yet, and so we can have this persistent up in the top right hand corner backup required, letting you know, as well as so yeah. There's the screens we're working on today. A celebration screen, your account has been created, a screen that encourages you to back up your account, QR code screen, and a skip screen. There's some other stuff around device linking I'm going to be working on with one of my colleagues, Brian Ginsberg, this afternoon, and that hopefully get to the actual like back and forth where you like open a WebSocket, send the key over to the other device, and that kind of stuff, which is pretty gnarly cool stuff. But he's way better at that stuff than I am, so I'm going to focus on knocking out these screens and get us a little bit closer. All right, well, let's jump in. So I've got iTerm open. I am not running the application, so let me go ahead and start it. npm run dev. And then over here, got another terminal open just for giggles. Can like check status. Got a clean buffer to start out with right now. Let's go ahead and open VS Code. Okay, so let me close a lot of these files out and let's start navigating to where we need to be. So I mentioned that right after the register, after you click register, you get redirected to this link device screen. And right now, all it was saying, I don't know if you guys remember, it was basically just saying / link device. Did I close the window where this was being done? Maybe not. Yeah, there it is, / link device. Whoa, that's bizarre. Not sure what that was. So this is currently deployed to IPFS. I'm not sure what that is doing. I'm going to do it locally. Great. All right, here's the app running locally. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Click connect. Take us through, create a new account. Jess Martin should no longer be available because I just got it on staging. Great. So how about Jess Martin 1? Click register. And we got redirected to link device. Interesting that the redirect takes a second. That was interesting. So let's go look at the code real quick. I don't know if y'all saw, there was like, the modal went away, there was an application interface screen, and then it went to link device. Application interface is like just what we have on the home page right there. So it looks like it like flashed over to the home page and then went to link device, which you definitely don't want it to do. Tell you what, so let's see, the code that does that is on click register user. Let's jump up to register user. All right, this says line 48 is registration success, which is awaiting a call to register user, a register username. That is a call into in lib common web native. We have wrapped the web native library in some functions that we're then distributing or importing in these other svelte components, like the register component. And so register is one of those functions. So this actually does the registration with the Fission servers right now, although you can implement your own server to handle the registration. If the registration was successful, then we update the session store. So this is a svelte store where we're gonna store the username that they just created, and then an auth true, and then console log session after registration. Okay, that's just a debugging statement, whatever. And then we also grab the file system, a pointer to the file system. Oh, actually, what's happening here, you know, now that I look at this, I feel like this call, okay, so what we've done in this method right here is we register the user, and then inside the registration success, we bootstrap the file system. I feel like we should bootstrap, I feel like this bootstrap file system, I'm torn here, because I don't think the register component should know that part of registration is bootstrapping a new file system. Like, we should probably bury that back into lib. So I'm just going to make a note of something to check in later today. Consider moving this into lib/common. Is it lib common web native? Is that right? Yep. Cool. Good job, Copilot. And then we'll need to get, I think you can in lib common web native update the file system store to have the bootstrap file system. So I think everything should happen here in register, as opposed to the bootstrap happening inside this if registration success thing. So anyway, some of this code, it feels a little bit like it's leaking a leaky abstraction, right? Because we want the register component to know that, like, hey, ask WebNative to register the user. The fact that they have to, that part of the registering the user is bootstrapping a brand new file system, that doesn't feel like that should be living in the register component inside Svelte. Okay, so finally we get to this go-to statement of go to link device. Now what I was seeing is the modal went away, which I'm trying to figure out why it would go away. Okay, let's see. So we don't have any toggle. The way that modals work in Svelte and using Daisy UI and Tailwind is actually rather clever. There's a checkbox that's hidden that can be toggled on and off, and then the style of the modal, whether it's shown or not shown in the layout, is based on the status of this, or the checked or not checked of the checkbox. So you're basically like keeping the state about the modal being checked or not, like in the HTML, like in the DOM. and you're storing it in this checkbox, which is kind of wild. It also occurs to me that my modal 5 is not a good name and that we should probably change that. Let's call this register modal. And let me see if there was any place we're using my modal 5. No. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we never really toggle this checkbox, and that would be the only thing that would cause the modal to actually disappear if you're when you're still on the page. So let's do another registration, and let's watch right up here to see if the URL changes to that and then goes to link device, because that would be rather strange, because this goto, I know goto is considered harmful and all that, but goto, this should take you straight to link device. There's no like redirect to the root. I'm now going to check and make sure that that's true. Okay, yeah, that's the back button. So there's a back button, and then there's a button that takes you to, it says on click, do the register user, which we just saw was go to link device. All right, let's go through the registration path one more time. In order to do that, it's kind of annoying. The only way to do it is to clear out your session, your keys, like effectively drop your keys into Mount Doom, as I was mentioning earlier. So we'll go into open application, go into IndexedDB, and then go through each one of these and delete all of the things in IndexedDB until it's empty. There's like 8 or 9 databases that are created. Some of those are IPFS, some of those are auth, different things. All right, so now we're gonna click connect, and again, we're watching up here for this URL bar to change. Create a new account, Jess Martin 2 this time. It's available, register. Sure enough, that's weird. So very distinct transition from register to the root to link device. And honestly have no idea why that's going on. Let me see if there's something in link device that's preventing. Okay, so a couple things here. The way that Svelte organizes things like components, routes, pages, all that kind of stuff. All the pages are in this routes folder over here on the left. And so we were just on the register page, which has the register component in it. And then similar with link device, we're on the link device page, which has a link device component on it. I wonder if there's something in the layout around that new auth flag. Let's go see if auth is used anywhere. So I don't know if you were paying attention here, but yep. Okay. Let's read this. Is session auth? Ha. Okay, here's the problem. Okay, so what's going on here? A couple things going on. One is this is, if you've never looked at Svelte before, there's basically, you've got your HTML on the bottom and your script on the top. Script has all of your JavaScript, and the script is run the very first time that the component is mounted, and then, or when the component is loaded. On mount is used when you want to wait until the component is completely and totally loaded. And so there's an on mount callback that will get called when the component is completely and totally loaded. Then there's this unsubscribed session store equals session store.subscribe. So what's happening here is we're subscribing to the state of the session store, and then with this return here, when you subscribe to the state of a session store, you get the unsubscribe, like the teardown of that subscription back as a return. So this is a function that we'll need to call to tear this subscription down when this component is unloaded. So at the very end of this, you'll see an onDestroy call unsubscribe session store. So that's what all this stuff's going on. But the important part is what session store.subscribe is saying is whenever the session store's contents change. So whenever, and so if you'll remember down here, when we do registration success, we actually update the contents of the session store. Whenever those contents change, execute this line right here. So what's happening then is session store.subscribe is called, if session.auth is called. If that's true, then they get redirected to the root. And we're setting auth to true right here, which immediately causes this thing to redirect to the root, which gives the feeling of the modal closing. What's really happening is changing pages. It's a page that had the modal on it. Now it's a page that doesn't have the modal on it. And then a few seconds later, after the line 60 completes and the Bootstrap file system completes, then it takes you go to link device. So you might ask, well, why the heck are you doing that? And the reason is we don't want people to be able to go to the registration page if they're already authed. And so this is like a guard clause of like, if you're already authed, if you already have a key, then when you try to go to /register, or you click a button that takes you there, like this, watch. When I click register, wow, that's slow. I do not like that experience. Okay, so there's a lot of things I don't like about that then. Okay, so, okay, cool. So a lot to fix here. Well, the idea was when you try to go to /register, it should automatically redirect you back to the home page. But that was a good 300, 400 milliseconds of you being on the register page, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're ejected back to the home page. You see that? Man, I don't like that. Now, what's going on there? A couple things. One is that I mentioned that on mount is the very last thing that happens after the component is completely loaded to the screen. And so basically all this other code is getting executed, the DOM is getting set up, everything, and then the very last thing it does is call this session store subscribe. A subscription gets set up, and then finally it calls if session.auth. And so this probably is not actually the pattern that we want to take at all for the redirect. So probably want to move that somewhere else, which I'm trying to figure out how we might do that. And so one, it's not the pattern. It doesn't even solve the problem that we intended to solve, which is keep you from going to register. Like it should so quickly redirect you here that if you see anything, you should just see a flash of UI. Not a like 300 milliseconds of like you're already starting to read, choose a username, and then all of a sudden you're bewilderingly redirected back to the root. So it doesn't solve the problem it was intended to solve, and it introduces a bug as well, where in the middle of registration, once you get authed, you get redirected back to the root, and then a few seconds later you get redirected over to the link device. So this is not a good solution, and we'll need to find another one. Probably going to talk to Brian about this today when we're pairing, about how we might do this. He's worked on more svelte applications than this. So I'm just going to kind of flag this as something to fix. Will this redirect is too slow? Find a better way to prevent users. It's not just that it's too slow, and it improperly redirects during registration. Find a better way to prevent users from registering twice? Sure, go pilot. Sounds good. All right, so we've now kind of left two comments in here about things we might want to check into. I'm going to go ahead and open a check out a branch here. Device linking, I guess. Yeah, we'll probably be working on this most of the day today. I'll work on this for a couple hours, and then Brian and I will pair on it a little bit. So device linking, and then I'm going to add both these things, document some things to look into. Document possible improvements. Things to look into, probably too big. All right, go ahead and push this up to GitHub. And in the meantime, to kind of prevent that behavior that we don't want to see, I'm going to go ahead and comment out this part of it, the if session.auth. We do need to subscribe to the session store no matter what. in order to update the session store here. So I'll need the session subscription and the session on destroy in order to have the rest of that. So I can't comment all of it out, but I'll comment out the redirect. And all right, let's see. So that looks good. So now let's go through, let's just make sure that we fixed the thing that we think we fixed. So let me bring up the application again. Let's log out by deleting all of the things. Doop, 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 doop. I was going too fast there. Great, refresh. We should get a connect button. We do. Create a new account. Jess Martin 3 this time. Register. We still got redirected. That is weird. Let me look, see if we're doing this anywhere else. So we're also doing this in the connect page, but the connect page is not the one that we're currently on. I wonder if the connect page is still mounted at that time? That feels weird. All right, so as a test, I went ahead and commented this out of the connect component. Let's go ahead and log out again. Silence that. Boop. Huh, alrighty. Delete database. Boop, 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 boop. All right, refresh. We are on localhost, right? Yes, localhost 5173. Great. Go home here. Okay, application interface. We're gonna click connect. So this is the connect interface that should redirect you if you've already registered, but we have not. So we'll create a new account. Jess Martin 4 is the new one. Register. Sweet, we solved it. That is bizarre. Okay, so what was actually happening is this this subscription was live during, yeah, the subscription continued to be live and the component continued, like this on destroy did not get called. Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm going to make another note of things to talk to Brian about. Bizarro world. This redirect executed after register when we were on the register page. I would think that unsubscribed session store would have torn down the subscription and this code could not be reached. But it did. It worked. That's what happened. Okay, so yeah. So again, this is not a good solution to our redirect problem anyway. So we want to figure out a better solution to this, but that is very surprising in terms of the way that very surprising in terms of the way that the life cycle of a Svelte component works. I would have expected when you changed routes for a the subscription to the on destroy to be called, but apparently that's not how it works. So I need to go read more on the Svelte component lifecycle. All right, so we are now 5 minutes or 25 minutes into our work block. First Pomodoro just ended, and I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll be back in 5 minutes, and at the end of 5, we will kick off Pomodoro number 2, and so I'll see you guys shortly. Alrighty, welcome back to Coding with Jess. We're about to start on Pomodoro number 2 of 4, which means we've been rocking for about 30 minutes now, and we got about 90 minutes left in this work session. So let's jump in. Timer counting down my 5-minute break. Let's go ahead and put 25 minutes back on the clock, and we will rock and roll for another 25, and then we'll see what's next. All right, so we had just noticed this bizarro world error where the connect component was not getting destroyed and had some redirect behavior in the subscription that was sending us to another page. When we disabled it, that redirect, which we realized was probably not a good solution to begin with, it appropriately sends us through the registration flow to the linked device page at the right time. One thing I did notice as we were, let's go ahead before we do anything else and commit that note there. And I'm going to have a conversation with Brian later today about the Svelte component lifecycle and other ways that we might implement this guard clause around double registration. Comment out, redirect, flow, redirect to prevent re-register. All right, so that is now commented out. Back over here, one thing I did notice as you click register is that there's no like spinner or anything, and you sit there for a little bit of time. So let's go see what is in the mock-up and see if there's anything, if you had any kind of animation here. So I'm gonna click register. Yeah, it just goes straight over. We're going to probably need some sort of animation, maybe throw a spinner up or something, because it's a pretty long, I guess that felt like maybe 2 seconds or something. We can go time it real quick. Let's see. So now that it's redirecting, actually, let's go over to the link device page and turn this link device thing into a modal, just so you get more of a, it looks more like the layout. So right now it's kind of hard to tell that you're redirecting because the modal disappears and then all of a sudden this link device is over here. So let's go ahead and throw this into a modal. That won't take very long. So we have link device here. Here's the link device component on the link device page. So let's steal some code from the connect page here, which has a really simple modal on it. And we'll throw that in here. All right, and let's change a couple things real fast. This will be the link device modal. It is checked. And then in here, let's say congrats. Just make sure it stands out from the existing one. Okay, so we welcome username, and we'll substitute that in by reading it from the store very shortly here. And instead of having a link here, there will be a continue page. All right, continue, and we'll throw a paragraph in here that says your account has been created. Is there anything else? Yep, there's going to be that wait, what's my password thing, which we have a similar one. Where is that? I guess this is a shared computer is the only other one like it. All right, we'll do the wait, what's my password in a minute. That should give us enough of a look. Yeah, so it's going to end up looking like this. Not too bad. This should not be button outline. There we go. And okay, great. So let's go ahead and log out by deleting all of our IndexedDB databases here. So click delete database. I really need to write like a helper function for deleting these databases so that it's faster to do this, because we end up doing a lot when we're testing. All right, so now closing that should take us back to home. All right, so we're at home. We're going to click connect. We're going to click create a new account. I think we're on like Jess Martin 5 now. All right, I'm going to bring up the this guy right here. Make this a little smaller. Apologize for you if you're watching on a phone. I apologize. Just got smaller for you. And we'll go to network, and what I'm watching for is how long it takes to redirect over to the other page. So we're going to click it, register. 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, cool. So that didn't quite give me, I got it all selected. Huh. Strange. It looks like it took about a second. But in any case, it's long enough to think about what the heck is happening. Let's move it up like this, and we'll see. Should be like a total time. I'm probably missing it in here, but it looks like I think this is the, I don't remember what that green bar. All right, so there we go. Content downloaded. There's a line that's supposed to be like page drawn, but in any case, it's about a second before it actually switches you over to this page. So we're going to want some sort of loader or spinner. Right now, what we have available to us is, I'll need to log out again. Boom. Application, come over here, delete database. Boop, 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 boop. All right, deleted. Right now we do have a spinner already under create new account. So I can do Jess Martin. And I get a nice little spinner there. Is that how we would want to do it? Thinking. The thing is, it's not actually checking your username. Like, what's happening is the entire application is in a registration procedure that you can't stop or break out of. In fact, I think the register button gets disabled when I click it. And so you end up with this, and you probably could click up here. Yes, that's like wrong. Shouldn't be able to do that. So we need to basically take over the whole screen at that point, which is basically what the point of a modal is to begin with. Man. You know what? I might note this as well as something we want to pull up as an issue here. New issue. Implement a loading state between register and welcome. The current layout allows the current UX allows the user to click away from the register screen once they have clicked register. They should not be able to do that. For one, also, yeah, once register is clicked, the user should be prevented from, start with the more obvious thing. Once the register is clicked, it can take up to a full second or two for user registration and file system bootstrapping to complete. During that time, the interface needs to be locked such that the user can't navigate away or cancel. Yep, the current UX allows you to click away from register. Let's see. Additionally, for instance, if there is an error message or an error during registration, if the user has closed the modal, they will not see the error message. Some ideas: hide the X for the modal once register is clicked. Show a spinner that in the middle of the screen and dim the rest of the screen until registration completes. Alrighty, I'm just gonna throw that in there as a thing we should look at. Okay, so back over here, we had talked about implementing this link device screen. Let's go ahead and keep doing it. So welcome username. We're actually going to now pull in the username from the, I think it's in the session store. So the way you do this is we're going to add a script block up here at the top of the Svelte component. And then we will do I think it's going to be an on mount to, oh no, we can actually do this more simply than that. There is a facility in Svelte to automatically subscribe and tear down subscriptions to stores. So we will need to import the session store from stores. And then we need to access the session store here. $session store dot username, I believe, will be the thing. And that should, there we go. Welcome, Jess Martins. Nice. So this this $sign on the store automatically sets up a subscribe and unsubscribe. So unlike the register and the connect where we have to manually subscribe and tear down, we get that automatically with the little $sign. Nice little feature of Svelte. Okay, so then what's the next thing on this screen? I'm going to move this over to the right and pull up the Figma on the left, maybe, or left, right, backwards, whatever. All right, your account has been created. It's how we want it to look. So we need this big check mark. That's definitely going to be something we'll have to export. Let's go ahead and get an SVG of this thing. And documents, code, WebNative template app. I believe we, oh, yeah, okay, so wait, I'm gonna put this in downloads. And then what we'll do is, we've been making these into Svelte components that we're including through the file system, or through the, yeah, we've been making them into Svelte icon components. So let's go see what we have here. We have an icon component for the check icon. Let's make one for welcome check icon. That's what we'll call it. And then I need to get the SVG code from in here. I think I could maybe do that from the command line. Let's try it. So pb copy, which is like copy to the clipboard, will be downloads. Hello. But does not like my thing. Let's see if we can manually do it. Fresh device desktop icon solid. All right, there's the icon SVG. Oh, okay. So we'll want to do cat icon svg pipe pb copy. All right, and then we'll come in here. I'll select the stuff that we have already, delete it, and then make sure I did it right. Okay, I think that's actually think that's it. Cat icon.svg. Height 100. Nope, that is definitely did not do what I expected. Okay, so what is... All right, fine. I open icon.svg in code. There it is. Now I can paste it in. There we go. There's the width 100, height 100. That's what I expected. The width and height looked wrong to me. Okay, so now we've got this welcome check icon, and we can insert that by, let's see, import welcome. Wait, that's not how we use it. How is it used in the register component? Icon. Yeah, we can just use it directly, I think. No, you do have to do an import. Okay. All right, so /v that, grab that. So over in link device, we're going to import. And this is welcome check icon from welcome check icon. So then here, I think it was above the, yeah, above it. So this will be welcome check icon. Whoa! Attempted to close an element that was not open. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we need to center this sucker. Just gonna wrap this whole thing in a div. Maybe. Div. And then we'll give this thing class text center, I believe is what it is. Oh, I didn't do it. So let's see how one might do this. How can I center an SVG? I would have thought text center would have done it. It gives you text align. Let's see. So the SVG itself, so I could do like margin autos on the sides. I might need to do like a grid layout. CSS grid center SVG. It's the kind of stuff that I never remember off the top of my head and always have to go look up. Using Flex content wrapper. This looks way more complicated than it needs to be. Let's see. This can, I love how this can easily be achieved using Flex. And then here's 100 lines of CSS. That was not easy. Okay. Box header and then SVG. So I want to center things in the header. Oh, that looks like a terrible solution. This only has 2 questions on it. Maybe there's a goodness. CSS Flex Center. To the right most important. Yeah, there we go. I think it is like display flex line items center. So I think that would be, I think the Tailwind version of this is flex and align center. Ooh, self-center. That's interesting. Content center. Maybe that was the one. Nope. Alrighty. jump in here. Okay, line item center is not it either. So why? Oh, wait. So this is the SVG itself does not have a flex item. Or, So how are we positioning our other icons? Are they relative positioned? Fill none. No, we don't do any modification on these. And then when we insert them into connect and register, sorry, register. When we insert them in here, yeah, we absolute position, where are they? Here's the check icon. Oh, we wrap it in a span and we do all the positioning in the span. Okay, that sounds reasonable. So close that, close that. All right. And we might need a div wrapping this. Feeling like I'm wrapping this with some unnecessary divs right now, but let's see, class equals text center. Let's see if that really simple thing gives us what we want. It does not. So now we need to tell this span to sit in the right spot. So this is probably flex. All right, flex, CSS Flex Center. Line item center. I was on the right path. All right, display flex. Why is align center not an option? This is the second time that I was looking for it and not finding it. Justify center. There we go. Cool. And I think these classes can all go away. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Maybe align center is not needed anymore. All right. Well, we're close. So let me go ahead and bring up the Figma again. Centering things in CSS. I'm sure this is why you're tuning in to watch YouTube these days today. Oh, interesting. This does not have the X in the top right-hand corner. So let's go ahead and take that out. I wonder if the register box also did not have the X. No, it definitely does. Interesting. So we're going to solve that some other way. Your account has been created, so we need to give that a little spacing above and below. Oh, interesting. The continue button is full width. Don't necessarily want width full there. So let's delete that. Alrighty. Let's see, did that get us? Yep, continue is correct now. So now we just need some spacing above and below this guy. So we can do margin top 10, margin bottom 10. See how that looks. Not bad. We need to add the wait, what's my password? This is probably going to be more like margin top 8 or something. All right, let's add a href equals a thing. Not sure what we're going to do, how we'll do this. I'll look and see how we did it at the other one. Don't need a class right now. what was it? What did it say? Wait, what's my password? All right, wait. And this is an m dash, ampersand, m dash. Whoa. All right, well, that was the end of our 25-minute Pomodoro. We're now 2 Pomodoros into our work session today. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then I'll be back to wrap up 1 more hour of working on the WebNative app template. So see you guys shortly. All right, welcome back to Coding with Jess. We have now wrapped up 1 hour of our live coding stream. We've got an hour ahead of us, so 2 more Pomodoro sessions to go. So let's go ahead and put 25 minutes back on the clock, and we will code for 25 minutes and take another 5-minute break. So what are we up to right now? So right now we are working on this link device screen, getting this styled up, and continuing through the registration flow of the WebNative app template. And just before this, we got this screen looking fine, and we have this nice little link here. We need to figure out how to show a little bit extra text once they click wait, what's my password. So let me show you what that looks like in the actual mock-up. Let's see, bring that up real quick. When you click here, when you click wait, what's my password, we actually show this other stuff. So what we're going to do is set that toggle up. So fun little tidbit about how to do this that I've learned from Tailwind Tailwind over the last couple of weeks is you can do this kind of thing with a hidden checkbox that keeps track of the state, whether something's clicked, and then we can make this a label that toggles the state of that checkbox. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is actually a pretty nifty little, very lightweight trick to set up like a hide show without any JavaScript. And you can just use CSS and the checkbox of kind of storing the state of the checked in the actual layout itself. So we'll start by making this a label, and make this that link into a label. And then we'll need to add a checkbox and then add what this is a label for. So here's a checkbox that I can steal on line 6. Let's go bring it up here. And this label will be where's my password? Message. Or how about just password message? That's probably sufficient. It's a checkbox, it's checked. Its class is modal toggle, which is probably okay, I think. Actually, yeah, I'm trying to remember how this works. Like hidden, maybe? All right, so we'll start out with that. Checkbox, and then the label here is for password message. All right, so now our label should toggle the state of that checkbox when we click it. Oh, are we in the right place? Yeah. Maybe we should not make the class hidden so that we can actually see the checkbox. There we go. Cool. All right, so right now we are now toggling the state of that checkbox when you click this guy. So we'll hide it. One thing I'm surprised about is I thought labels were supposed to change the mouse to a oh, words. Supposed to change the mouse to a pointer, but it's not happening. So I'm just gonna set that to hover pointer right there. That should give us the hover mouse. Maybe mouse pointer is the class. Cursor pointer, whatever. There we go, and then hover. There we go. Great. So on hover, I now get the cursor pointer. I can toggle it, and then what we want to do is let's bring this down to here, and we will use this thing called peering, which is pretty cool. Actually, let's go ahead and add the text. The text is in this Figma. Let's see. Make this full screen. Where is that wonderful text that Ryan wrote? Again, we might change it, but That should give us a good start. You don't need a password. App name uses, okay, we got app name in there, so we'll bring that in and I'll show you how that works, which is kind of neat as well. Does not like a paragraph inside a paragraph. So we'll make this into a div. Div. You don't need a password. Let's change that little thing there. Add a break here so that you get a new line. This is app name, so we're actually going to do, I think it's app name. Oh, wait, what's the, there we go. So we'll need to do an import app name from app name. Oh, is it in lib app name? Okay. So we can do import app name from $lib/app name. There we go. Now it's working. So app name uses public key. Let's go make sure that looks good. Yeah. You don't need a password. Awesome. WebNative app uses public key cryptography to authenticate you with this device. Great. So now we want to start out with this hidden and then have it be shown. So we'll go ahead and say class equals hidden. And then we'll do this thing called peer and peer checked. So I'm going to set on this checkbox, I'm going to set class peer. And then on this paragraph, I'm going to set a peer checked. So when the thing that is identified as peer gets checked, then make this visible. And let's see how that works. Oh, it's not visible, it's display, I think. Oh, I always forget this. Hidden is what? Display none? It says display none. Yeah, okay. And then, so we'll need to like do block, I guess. Like display some. There we go. There we go. Cool. Wait, what's my password? You don't need a password. Ha ha ha! We have it working. And the only thing that's a little awkward is I'd love a little more space there. And we also had it so that it removed. So we can actually, in order for a peer and peer check to work, it just has to be a child. The peer has to be a sibling of the peer checked thing, but it can be several elements above. It doesn't have to be immediately above. So I'm going to move it up one more. And what that'll allow me to do is in this label, I can set a peer checked to hidden. And so now, when I refresh the page, oh no, I need to show the checkbox because it's checked by default. There we go. All right, so now hide the checkbox. Oh, rats, come on. Here, uncheck the checkbox. All right, and then hide the checkbox. Dadgummit, it keeps checking it for me. Oh, I think I have it checked by default. Duh. It should not be checked by default. There we go. Okay, cool. So now when I come to it, wait, what's my password? Click it, and it reveals this message. You don't need a password. Awesome WebNative app, blah, 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 blah. So let's see how that looks here, how much spacing everything has. It's like they're maybe it's a little tighter on top. So let's use a little less margin here, maybe. That looks good. And spacing between the continue button and the bottom of that paragraph looks pretty good. Spacing here looks pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good all around. Cool. So I think we're in a good spot now. And the link, that is the link device page. So let's go, this is a good spot to actually do a commit. Oh, I'm not where I should be. Documents, code, WebNative app template. Nope, none of those things. All right. Link device. Or this is, I guess, technically the welcome screen completed. Now, interesting. We have a little bit of a like not a design challenge, but we've got to figure out how we're going to handle this because all of the previous screens, the connect and the register modals are actually different URLs. And right now, this your account has been created. Welcome, Jess Martins. When we might this welcome screen, we might need to make. Do we need to make it a separate screen, or there's basically several things that are going to start happening here. We're going to take you up to this backup. I don't know. Let's make another one called backup, and then. But that's link device is the name of this. This is not the link device screen. This is like the welcome screen. Let's go through and do a quick rename. I think I'm going to split these up so that you can go to /welcome, which takes you to this screen, and then you'll go to /backup, which will then take you through the link device flow. Which I think is actually, now that I think about it, is a better name. Link device is what we call it internally inside WebNative, but the UI is all about backup. Backup your account. Are you sure? Connect to a backup device. And so let's make the actual modal consistent with that. So let's make those quick changes real quick. So link device now we'll rename to welcome. Svelte, and then no, never mind. And then we'll rename this to welcome.svelte, and then in here this will be actually I wonder if we can go to definition. Never mind. There's really not that many instances of that. Welcome. All right, and then like link device. That's right, we got that go to. Yeah, welcome is such a better URL anyway, much more consistent with the user's experience throughout the thing. All right, let's make sure we didn't break anything too badly. Back to the root, and let's go to /welcome. Cool. All right, now you can click continue, and that continue should take you to backup. All right, so we'll use the backup page to do all of the device linking stuff. And again, this is what we would have done on link device .svelte. So make a new one called backup develop. Copy all of this. This is a perennial problem, by the way, with web applications and other applications of like, how do you handle a wizard-like UI where you have multiple steps that you go through? Just kind of one of those things you have to figure out how you're going to do it, and there's not really a good solution. You want to use one page? Do you want to use one component? Do you want to use multiple? All right, and this is H1 backup. All right, let's make sure that's working. Go to /welcome. Click continue. We need to make that a link to. Let's see, where is that page? The welcome svelte. When you click this, it should take you to /backup. So let's go now to welcome again. And now this link should take me to backup. It does, because you can see backup right up there. Cool, so we're now in a good spot to continue moving forward. Let me go ahead and add all of these changes. Rename link device to welcome. Add backup route. Cool. All right, so backup is ready to go. Let's go ahead and pull up the component, not the route, and see what the Figma says. The Figma says that we have another modal. It says backup your account and tells you a little bit about it. So let's go through and make that. So again, we're going to be stealing the, we're going to be wrapping all this in a modal. So I'm going to go over to welcome and grab the modal from here. and copy it over to here. And then let's go change some things. We're not going to need that icon. We're going to have a H3 at the top that says backup your account. This is going to be the backup modal. Not that it really matters, I don't think, what we call it there. It says backup your account at the top. And then we have all of this in a paragraph here. So let's go ahead and your app name account. Okay, so we're gonna need, we will need app name again. So we'll do an import there to grab that. There is app name. Did it automatically add the script? Ooh, nice. Not quite. It added the script for me. There should be a lang equals ts here, and it should be app name from $lib app name. Cool. Now we've got our app name in here. Let's see, I probably want to just do back-to-back paragraphs here. Whoa, whoops. Let's see, grab that next thing. Paragraph, class, sure. And we'll say we highly recommend that. And then we have connect a backup device as a button and skip for now. All right, let's see how that might work. I'm gonna grab this. I have a hunch that we're going to be using a peer again to show the "Are you sure" message. So I'm going to leave that up there to come back to, and then wrap this whole thing in a div. And I'll just call it "Are you sure?" Are you sure? Or no, this isn't "Are you sure?" This is backup message. And then we'll need a button, which is here. Bring it up to below this paragraph. This button says connect your backup device, or connect a backup device. Okay, and then there's another button that is similar to our label that we were doing before. So we'll add that here. And this label will say skip for now. And this label is for "Are you sure?" Maybe we should change this to skip. Skip backup. And then this one can be label for skip backup. That should give us our skip for now message underneath. We can now delete the rest of this for now, or comment it out for now. And let's see what we have going on. All right, div was left open. Okay, let me see which one that is. I bet it's this one up here at the top. Yep. All right. It's closing div. All right, and jump over here. Hey, not bad for like doing all that blind. So there we've got backup your account, your awesome WebNative app account, and its data live only on your devices. We highly recommend backing up your account on at least one additional device. I can click connect, or I can click skip. If I click skip, nothing happens right now. Okay, so then this class is peer unchecked. Peer checked, this will be hidden. So if I click this now, whoops, wrong one. Okay. Wait, did I add I might have an unnecessary div here. I don't think I need this div. But I do need this one. And this one is going to be peer checked hidden. All right, so if I skip for now, boom. All right, so now we're gonna make another one that is div ID equals are you sure? And these IDs are unnecessary, so I may end up removing them, but they are some context about like what is contained inside the thing. I may use like an HTML comment instead of an ID to highlight that. So this peer checked is block, and then it is hidden to begin with. And so inside this div, we'll have several things. What's the vision telling us? We'll have an are you sure? Or what's the Figma telling us? Sorry. Are you sure? And what's the next thing? A paragraph without a backup device. We blah, 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 blah. So let's grab a paragraph. Come down here and grab that text. Without a backup device, if you lose this device or reset your browser, you will not be able to recover your account data. Okay, and then we want to keep that button. Let's bring the button back again. Button, connected backup device, and then YOLO, I'll risk just one device for now, will be actually a link to the a class text error underline href equals slash, because it's going to take you back to the root, and the text is YOLO, I'll risk just one device for now. And that is, I believe, an M dash as well. Oh, we need to replace that little quote, and then we'll make this into an M dash, M dash, and go see how that looks. All right, so skip for now. Boom, we're almost there. So now we need this to be block. We need this other label, which is wrapping unnecessarily, to also be block. All right, so we are getting close. Need, this is going to need some margin top. Skip for now. It's got a little too much margin on the bottom. What's up with that? Let's get rid of that. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Back up your account. There's maybe a little too much spacing in the between the paragraphs, but pretty darn close. So I click skip for now and I get the back up your account. Well, let's go fix the spacing on YOLO. This will also need some margin bottom, or actually, because this is the top, I do margin top 4. Skip for now, YOLO, I'll risk just one device for now, and then boom, takes you back to the interface. Nice. All right, so that was pretty fast to get that wired up. Now we're on, you can click back up. There's a little spacing issue after that paragraph. Let's go see if we can fix that really fast. Delete that. Bottom, I think I had margin bottom 6 on some of these other paragraphs. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, one thing we didn't I didn't notice is this now needs to say are you sure instead of back up your account right at the top. So let's go fix that. Change to here. Are you sure? Okay. And then the final thing is we need to take you to the connect a backup device screen. Now we could again use this is so interesting. Do I want to create yet another route? We've got 25 seconds left in our Pomodoro here, but we have blazed through creating the like are you sure experience. I think yeah, so We're gonna take a 5-minute break, and I'm gonna ponder on this usage of how we want to implement this during our 5-minute break. But before we do that, worth noting here a couple things that were really nice because of this of some of the Tailwind classes. These peer and peer checked classes really allow some really nice behavior where we can toggle between UI states without using any JavaScript. Pure CSS, a checkbox, and get these really nice UI experiences. So now you can go from welcome, which is where we started today. Oh, weird. Wow, okay. Huh. Okay, so what something we'll need to ponder is just a minute ago, or just a second ago, when we loaded this page, initially the username was blank. And what we're doing here is we're automatically subscribing to the session store to grab the username using this like dollar using a svelte feature that does like auto subscribe, auto teardowns around store subscriptions. And for whatever reason, when this page was loaded, that store hadn't been read yet, and so this was blank. So I'm not sure how we want to handle that, but that was definitely strange. Most likely, though, when they come to this page, they will have immediately come from a place where session store was populated on the registration page, and so we shouldn't see that in production. I don't know. That was weird. Anyway, but you go to the welcome page. You can now click continue, which takes you to backup, tells you to back up your account. You can then say, I want to skip. It asks you, are you sure? You can say YOLO. I'll just risk one device for now. It takes you here. Again, pretty nice little flow. Next thing we need to do is actually in this last Pomodoro, so after our 5-minute break, hopefully we're going to implement this screen right here where you can actually show a QR code that links to a link that will allow you to bring up a separate device in this kind of interface, and we'll do some basic little two-factor auth like auth. So anyway, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'll ponder whether we should do all of this in a single modal or add another yet another route to our burgeoning application. And yeah, see you guys in 5 minutes. Welcome back to Coding with Jess. If you're still hanging out with me, we are now, we have 3 Pomodoros in the rear view mirror, 1 Pomodoro ahead of us. We've been at this for 90 minutes now. We got 30 more minutes or 25 more minutes to continue working on the WebNative template app. So let's jump right in, put 25 minutes on the timer, and do our final work session for the day. Cool. This next one I was actually pretty excited about because we're going to be working on this connect a backup device screen, and we'll be doing some QR code work to actually make it so that you can pull up a URL on a second device, which is pretty neat. So I think we are going to add an additional screen. I'm not really loving this proliferation of URLs and screens, but I don't know that there's a much better way other than, yeah, I mean, the alternative to creating another screen would be to have all of this happen inside of a single modal. Actually, you know what we should do? We should do all of this inside of a single route where we swap out which modal is viewed. Or sorry, not modal, sorry. Well, it is modal, but we're going to swap out the component that's viewed in each state. So maybe that's the, anyway, something to talk about with Brian this afternoon when we may want to refactor this. The easiest way to get started, because we want to dig into the QR code work, is to go ahead and create a new screen and call it, what is this? Connect a backup device. We're already on backup. Maybe we shouldn't. Okay, sorry. Naming is hard. So let's see. Let's just call it backup device for now. And whoops, that needs to be a .svelte file, or it won't do the right thingy. .svelte. All this boilerplate copy pasting between routes and components has me realizing this is probably not the right pattern that we want to follow. But we can change that. We can change that after we get it working. Make it work, make it right, make it fast. Right now we're in the make it work phase. We can make it right later. All right, so this is going to be backup device.svelte. Alrighty, paste this in. Okay, so over to our Figma. We've got a couple things going on here. So I copied this over from the backup screen, which is a pretty simple screen. I'll call this backup device modal. What do I need to delete here? We don't need this hidden thingy. Pretty sure this, so this screen is almost certainly going to change in a couple different ways as we're going through it. I can bring up the prototype, that'd be faster. Maybe if Figma were fast, it would be faster. Come on, come on. All right, let's click through this. All right, here we go. So when you're on the connected device screen and the other device connects to a device, then it's going to turn into this. You'll say, yes, it's me, and you connected. All right, so maybe this is another case where we use the same modal and just hide part of it. We'll start with this one. Connect the device. Connect device. And it says up at the top, saying connect a backup device. And then underneath we've got this text. So we'll have giant QR code goes here. Get that in a second. And then underneath it says scan this code on the new device or share the connection link. Let's see how we scan this code on the new device or share the connection link. Sometimes it really is faster to type than to copy paste. And then we have copy connection link. Oh, check out that cool little icon. That's gonna be fun to embed in there. Let me delete this other paragraph. This is a button primary and a button outline to get that nice little behavior. see, and then the text of it is copy connection link. And we're going to need a nice little icon. We'll do that in a second. And then we have the skip for now. This one is not going to be a... Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe we do want to do this "Are you sure" thing. Yeah, we probably still want to drive them to "Are you sure?" Huh. That's not the way he has it set up here. But we probably still want to say "Are you sure, YOLO?" Which may mean we make the "Are you sure?" Anyway, we'll figure it out. This goes back to the wizard, right? Which state are you in? Which state can you get to? All that kind of stuff. Let's go see what it looks like so far. So backup, connect to backup device. Oh, let's go ahead and have the backup spelt link to... There it is. Backup device. That URL. So now click connect to backup device. Cool. All right, now we've got a QR code will be sitting right there. We've got this copy connection link. We'll get the URL there in just a second. Skip for now is not the right color. So let's go make it the right color. Skip for now should be text error. All right, when I click it, get this YOLO. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then the only other thing we want to do is make this connect a backup device. This is probably going to need to be a label, because if I go back to this page, I bet I will have connect a backup device, YOLO. I'll just risk, whoops. Okay, so on the backup page, I go click connect a backup device. If I click skip for now, I get this. If I click connect a backup device, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So this link will not reset the status of that, or will not uncheck that checkbox for us. So we need to make that an uncheck this time, which is label. Make it a label. And instead of that, we're going to say for skip backup. Don't know if that actually works. We're going to see. Skip for now, connect a backup device. Yes, it works. Skip for now, connect a backup device. Cool. Okay, so now you have this nice little integrated "Are you sure" message. It's duplicated, so we're almost certainly going to want to extract it into its own component, which we can do in a little bit. So connect to backup device. Let's get that QR code. So let's see, JavaScript to render QR code, or generate QR code. If anybody has any suggestions on how to do that, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, it's time to do some research. Let's see, qrcode.js. That looks interesting. Cross-browser QR codes. Let's see what that is on GitHub. 2015. I'm gonna guess that that's probably not the default. That is probably not the best solution right now. This is from 2021. qrcode.js. Curious. Pure JavaScript library for generating QR codes using HTML5 canvas. Great. So this has no opinion on the way to do it, other than here are 5 different ways to do it. Thanks a lot. Oh no. And one more. 6 different ways to do it. Zoinks. That's not helpful. 10 best custom QR codes. Seriously? Like, how about the one best? It's just, it's kind of wild to me that there's just such a proliferations of ways to do things in JavaScript. It must be like completely overwhelming. Okay, we don't want to do this in Node. We want to do it in the browser, so that's not going to be helpful. Just such a proliferation of ways to do things in JavaScript for a newbie to come in and see like 10 different ways to generate QR codes. Like, and how do I know which one to choose? how to make a QR code using, I don't want to make a QR code generator. I just want to make a maybe QR code JS is actually the way to do it and hasn't been updated since 2015. That would be astonishing as like record longevity for a JavaScript package. It's like, this is not how this ecosystem works. So issues, it's like there's 55 open pull requests. Are there forks of this that are... No, I don't want to fork it. Insights, networks. Why don't they show like most common fork? Or most starred fork or something like that. Network shows the 100 most recently pushed forks. Gosh, it's just really hard to know. Which of these is... How about some things that we need? QR code, TypeScript, support. The 10 best, the 10 best. Yeah, this is the node one. That doesn't really help me. Wait, hold on. Maybe this can be used in the browser context? Oh. Oh, yeah, that's not what I want to do. Precompiled nodules. Promises and async await can be used in case of callback function. This is definitely the equivalent of a plumber trying to figure out which freaking wrench they're going to use. One of my least favorite parts of the coding experience. Choose which JavaScript library you want to use to solve this problem. Open Base has, okay, here's some comparison stuff. QR code.react. Component to use with React, not really interested in that. I don't need a Vue.js component. Actually, qrjs.svelte. It looks like QR code JS may actually be the thing to use here. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's just do that then. Import QR code from qrjs.svelte. Let's see how this is imported. Import on mount from Svelte. Export. Let QR code. Oh, he's like, this is so bad. Yeah, so to get around bundling the QR code JS in here, they're just script source and then appending, like basically inserting it into the head of like loading that script directly. and then calling this stuff, which is pretty gross. How hard is it to generate your own QR code? Never. It's got to be pretty easy if all of these different options exist. It wouldn't be too. Man, this is referring to jQuery as the first option. How old is this article? Oh my gosh. Get me out of here. Curious. Let's go look at that one. See how that one looks. Pure JavaScript library for QR code generation. Not updated since 2017. Good grief. Oh, nice ASCII art logo though. Props to you for that. Pure JavaScript library for generating QR codes using HTML5 canvas. No longer available. Demo live, chat on Gitter. Path to curious.js. Pull requests. QR generation is not working. Ay. Curious not found. Curious type error, can't set property of curious. Get access to underlying modules. Hard to tell. Wish there was a way to scrub through the first 2 hours of this so I can catch up. Yeah, it'll chat. I'll be wrapping up here in, let's see, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. And I think once I hit the doo-doom, live stream is over. It turns into a normal movie that you can scrub through. Yeah, just for a quick catch up, since we're about to wrap up anyway, and I'm in the mire of choosing through different JavaScript libraries to generate a QR code. We have been working on our flow from registration through device linking, and right now we've got register, which is working and allows you to register an account. And then once you've registered, what we worked on today is we've added a welcome screen, which there's that problem again. You notice that right up here at the top right-hand corner, or where the username is, that username took a second to load. And that's partly because we're reading that from a store. That still just does not feel right. So we'll need to figure out why that is taking a little while to load, and then kind of figure out how Svelte expects to sort of preload layouts with things that are coming from a store. But anyway, we made this welcome page, we brought in this SVG, then you can like ask, say, wait, what's my password? Get a little more information. You can click continue and go to this backup screen. You can also try to skip, and we'll kind of aggressively warn you that you shouldn't skip. If you say yes, you want to skip, it takes you all the way back out to the root. Go to welcome, continue, connect a backup device, and you get to this screen where you're going to be getting a link. So right here, we're going to draw a QR code in the middle of the screen. But what's annoying is that there's about 100 different ways to draw QR codes in JavaScript, and none of them are up to date that I can find. I haven't seen a single up-to-date library that, and so the problem with that is that none of them are TypeScript support and have ES modules support, so I can't bundle them in with this front-end application. I'd have to like access them as a separate script. So I'm probably gonna have to spend some more time spelunking on QR code libraries, which is just the worst. And digging through the detritus of NPM to try and find out how we want to actually generate the QR code here. But one thing we can do, since we have like 5 minutes left, is we can go ahead and say skip for now, YOLO, and there's a little interface element in the top right-hand corner of the screen that warns you when you have skipped over backup. In fact, we're showing it slightly right there in this sort of shield layout. I'm not actually sure why it's visible here because you haven't skipped yet. Oh, that's cool. Wait, it kind of looks like it unfolds when it does that though, which is kind of nice. So yeah, this is this backup required shield. Oh, actually there is one other thing that we can complete before, without having that QR code. We need to bring in this icon and get it inside that button. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and then we can pause for the day. We got 5 minutes. Let's see if we can grab this, finish this up. All right, so back into the Figma, and we need that icon right there. So let's go over here and export it as an SVG. Export icon. That will save it to downloads. And then over here in source component icons, we're going to create another one. And we'll call this the clipboard icon.svelte. In this little component, we can drop all the SVG codes. So let's go over to here and we can open it up. It's in /downloads. Actually, what's the name of the folder that we got? Whoa, that's a good question. Icon, maybe? What was that? No? I'm not exactly sure what the name of the thing was that we just downloaded with the top. I don't think it was Fresh Device, because that was the... Oh, there it is, in outline. Huh, okay. All right, so this will be Fresh Device. Icon, outline, and SVG. So that'll open it in VS Code for us. We'll copy that over to clipboard icon, hit paste here, and there we go. We've got the icon. So now I can come over to our backup device page, scroll down to the copy connection link, and in here we will add our let's see, clipboard icon. Let's see if we get an auto import up here at the top. Whoops. Yep, it appropriately imported it from components. I do like when VS Code does that kind of completion for me. So now we should see, actually I'm not exactly sure what we should see here, how it's going to render within that thing. Hey, that's not bad actually. Cool, so that's already looking pretty good. What we'll do is, I think I can apply classes. Well, this will be a test. Actually, margin. Actually, you know what? We don't even need to worry about that. Let's just wrap this guy in a span. And then we'll apply some left margin. Margin left. Probably no, 4 might be too much. Yep. 2. That looks pretty good. Let's go look at the Figma. Yeah. I'm going to call that awesome. And it's interesting. The thing I don't love about it is how that when I hover over it, get this really nice fade into blue, but the SVG does not fade. I wonder how we could do that. So to remind you, if you haven't thought about this in a while, the color of an SVG is actually specified in here in this stroke value. So we could actually parameterize that so that you could pass it in when you specify the clipboard icon. So something along those lines of like stroke color equals, you know, something, an HTML, or sorry, a hex color. But we want to change the color on hover. I'm actually not sure if Tailwind classes could apply at an SVG. Class equals stroke. So I'm just curious whether this is going to override the stroke color. Let's make it red. No, it doesn't appear to. But I have it at the class level. I don't know the, or sorry, the SVG level. The stroke appears to apply at the path level. I'm pretty sure. Oh, whoa, you can. Wild. Okay. So then we should be able to say hover stroke slate 50, which is what Ryan generally uses. Oh, come on. We were so close, because the stroke slate 50 actually does override it, but you don't get, for some reason that hover doesn't take impact. All right, cool. Well, we have now hit, okay, we have now hit the end of our 4th Pomodoro. It has been 2 hours of live coding, which has been a lot of fun today, working on the WebNative app template. Chad, thanks for hanging out in YouTube and visiting shortly. If you're going back through this, yeah, feel free to watch the first hour or 2 hours where we're going through and working on the auth flow for a decentralized web native application. Also, we'll be continuing to work on this. I'll be back next week, same time, same place, to do probably continuing on this project, but we're making progress on it throughout the week. Working with Brian Ginsberg at Fission to get this web native app template moving. So, you know, feel free to check in on the GitHub repo. Feel free to clone it locally and play with it. It's coming along pretty quickly, and hopefully it'll be a good starting point if you're building a decentralized web native library application. So thanks for hanging out on Coding with Jess, and we'll see you next time.